Good morning, students. Today we are here to start with the course of the month of May. According to academic calendar, you have my childhood in it. So today we'll start with the lesson my childhood. So can you think any scientist who have also been a statesman? A scientist who is also together a statesman. Now, can you imagine anybody who comes in your mind, who clicks in your mind that he was also a scientist and also a statesman? Now, who is a statesman? A statesman is a person who is related to politics, who is also engaged in the business of the politics. I hope you have guessed it right. It's Mr. APJ Abdul Kalam. He was also a former president. So he was engaged in the government policies, like because he was a president himself. So APJ Abdul Kalam, whose projects in space, defense and nuclear technology guided India into the 21st century, became our 11th president in 2002. Now, Mr. APJ Abdul Kalam, he was our 11th president and he was elected president in the year 2002. So he did many things. He had many projects. His project took us to another level of popularity. India became very much strong in the wise of defense, nuclear, everything. In his autobiography, Wings of Fire, he speaks of his childhood. Now, in his book, Wings of Fire, which is an autobiography, he speaks about his childhood. Now, let's go and see what did he mention about his childhood. I was born into a middle-class Tamil family in the island town of Rameshwaram in the erstwhile Madras state. Now he was born in a middle-class family. I hope you know what is a middle-class family. In Madras. In Madras. Madras, it was formerly Tamil Nadu, formerly is known as Madras. In an island town of Rameshwaram. Now Rameshwaram is an island town. It's on Indian Ocean. It's a town in Indian Ocean. So it's also a town of Tamil Nadu, which is in an island called Rameshwaram. So he was born there. He was born in Tamil Nadu in Rameshwaram, in a very middle class family. My father, Jainulabdin, had neither much formal education nor much wealth. Despite these disadvantages, he possessed great innate wisdom and true generosity of spirit. Now, his father, what was the name of his father? It was Jainulabdin. Jainulabdin he had neither much formal education. Formal means he didn't have that much education. Like formal education, like we say, we go to school from nursery till class 10 and then 11, 12. So he didn't have this kind of education during his childhood, and neither he had so much wealth. But despite of all these disadvantages, means despite of not being wealthy, not being educated, Mr. President's father, he possessed great innate wisdom and true generosity of spirit. Innate means inborn quality. Like some persons, let me explain you more about what is innate. Some person or some child, we see that from childhood itself they know, like from 2 years or 18 months or 3 years, they know how to sing, they know how to dance, they know how to play, they know how to do mathematics very nicely, or gymnastics, or anything related to all these things. They know it very nicely. So that is inborn quality which is already imbibed in you. So he possessed great innate wisdom and a true great generosity of spirit. Generosity means he was very generous. He had the spirit which with him, he was very generous. He had an ideal helpmate in my mother, Ashiamma. So his father He was very lucky indeed, as in words of APJ Abdul Kalam, that his father was very lucky to help a very helping and ideal helpmate in his mother. His mother's name was Ashiyamma. I do not recall the exact number of people she fed every day. He says that he doesn't remember. Recall means remember the exact number of people that she fed every day. Means the persons who came to her house, she fed them during lunch or maybe dinner or breakfast. So he couldn't remember how many persons she fed in a day. But I'm quite certain that far more outsiders ate with us than all the members of our family put together. Like now, he says that there were lots of members definitely in his house, but combined all the family members in his house, his mother fed far more members who were outsiders. So this is a kind of a generosity we see. We see this quality in his mother and father. Number 2 paragraph. I was of many children a short boy with rather undistinguished look, born to tall and handsome parents. Now, the writer is saying now, I was of many children a short boy, means he was a short boy with a rather undistinguished look, means not so much handsome, not so much very attractive, born of tall and handsome parents. That means his father and mother both were very nice, well to look at, but he was nothing like that. We lived in our ancestral house, which was built in middle of the 19th century. So ancestral house is something which belonging to our great grandparents or maybe to our great grandparents. So he was living in an ancestral place, ancestral house of his grandparents or his great grandparents, which was built in the middle of the 19th century. It was fairly large. Now 19th century, I may tell you that 19th century means here in 1800s. So now we are in 2020, we'll call it 21st century. Similarly, when it was 1920 or 1918, 1999, 1998, we would call that century, previously we would have called that century 20th century. So 19th century is surely 1800s. So it was built in 1800. It was fairly large pakka house made of limestone and brick. So it was during that time also the house was made of pakka. It was a cement based house made with limestone and brick. Limestone, you know that we whitewash the walls, it's limestone. And brick, you all know. On the Mosque Street in Rameshwaram. So we have different kinds of colonies or streets. So the place where we lived in Rameshwaram was Mosque Street. My austere father used to avoid all inessential comforts and luxuries. Austere means very simple, though simple, strict, stern, severe, but very simple. So his father used to avoid all kinds of luxuries. Avoid and inessential comforts means the thing which include luxury, his father used to totally avoid it. He didn't buy anything inessential which was not needed to him. He didn't buy all these kinds of things. However, all necessity were provided. That doesn't mean they were deprived of any comforts and anything, but everything which was needed for the children, his father provided them everything. In terms of food, medicine or clothes, everything was provided to them very nicely. Because during that time, I hope there were no TVs, might be only radio or newspaper, which was only the mode of getting the news of the outside world. So they have only this thing. So they were not deprived of their clothes, of their clothing, of their medicine or foods. They had all this in abundance. In fact, I would say mine was a very secure childhood, both materially and emotionally. Now he's saying that his childhood was very secured, very comforted. He had everything, whatever he wanted, both materially, means material, the material things. like playing wise things or anything that is needed for a child to grow up, which you need essentially for you. And emotionally means it was very emotion. He didn't have anything bad, something that he would think about, or his parents. I mean, the environment in which he stayed was very secure. The third paragraph. The Second World War broke out in 1939 when I was 8 years old. So, when the Second World War had been broken out, he was just 8 years old boy. For reasons I have never been able to understand, a sudden demand of tamarind seed erupted in the market. Now, as in 1939, the World War broke out when he was just 8 years old. He I mean, while writing his autobiography, he just remembered, I mean, he just reminisced those moments, and he said that I don't know what happened because I was quite small that time, but I don't know why such demand of the tamarind seed erupted in the market. Tamarind seed, you know what is tamarind? A very sour, sometimes sweet, but mostly sour, very खट्टा, बहुत खट्टा होता है tamarind. Imli, what we called imli, is a very sour fruit. So he says that I don't know why, but sudden demand of the tamarind seed, not only tamarind means वो इमली का फल का डिमांड नहीं आया मार्केट में, बट उसका सीड्स का, उसका बीज का डिमांड बहुत आया. So he was saying, I don't know why, but the sudden demand has erupted in the market, means came out, okay, of the market, in the market. So what he used to do, let's see. I used to collect the seeds and sell them to a provision shop on a mosque street. So he used to collect those tamarind seeds, and he used to go and sell it to a provision shop. Provision, we say here in Haflong Hindi, we say it's a galamal ka dukan, where we get everything from rice to soap to shampoos to dal, pulses, grains, everything we get in one shop is called provision shop. So he used to go and sell those tamarind seeds in that shop, and a day's collection would fetch me the princely sum of 1 anna. The time might be, according to that child, according to the writer, 1 anna was very much for him. It was a generous amount. Now he says a princely amount. Princely amount is just a first type he's saying. It's ironic here. Princely amount, according to a child of 8 years, is a very much. It's too much money. So an anna, according to that term, is an Indian monetary account. Monetary unit, and it's almost 6 pice. 1 anna is almost 6 pice. So he says that it would, the collecting the seeds and selling it to the provision shop in Rameshwaram in the mosque street would bring him 1 anna per day. My brother Jalaluddin would tell me stories about the war, which I would later attempt to trace in the headlines in Dinamani. Now he had brother-in-law. Brother-in-law might be sister's husband. So, yes, sister's husband. So his brother-in-law would state him like how what happened, how the war is going on, how the country is facing. And remember, in 1939, India was still under the British rule. We were still under the imperial colonial rule of the British Empire. So India too was forced to join the Allied forces in the Second World War, because US, Russia, they were together in one side, and UK too was there. So as UK participated in that war, you can say India too was forced, because India was under British rule during that time. So his brother-in-law Jalaluddin would say, would narrate what happened, or what's going on during that time in other parts of the world and in India. So he would narrate him everything. He would tell him what the political whatever was going on, how the war was going and all. So what is to happen after his brother-in-law is to narrate him everything of the war. He would later try to find it in the newspaper, which was known as Dinamani. Now I would say please underline the word Dinamani. You might have one more question. What's the name of the newspaper that was circulated during the World War II in Rameshwaram, or what is Dinamani? So please underline the word Dinamani. The Dinamani was the name of the newspaper that used to be published during the World War time, or before that, which Kalam used to read. But soon, see, our area being isolated was completely unaffected by the war. So as Rameshwaram is an island town, it's a very beautiful island town of our country. It was totally unaffected by the effects of war. Okay, so but soon India was forced to join the Allied forces. Like I have said you before, that as India was under British rule, India was later forced to join the Allied forces in Second World War. And something like a state of emergency was declared. The first casualty came in form of the suspension of train halt at the Rameshwaram station. Now, as India was forced to join the war, something like state of emergency was declared. Emergency, state emergency, national emergency means here now, as the country, as the world is suffering through coronavirus, it's a kind of emergency. Everything has been put to a stop. Everything, you see, the train has been running, no. The buses, no. Nothing. The flight schedule, nothing is running now. Even the shops are not properly open. You are not able to walk on the roads. So this is a kind of emergency. So during the Second World War time, India also entered into a state of emergency. Now, India, as he has said, that in the small state, a small town in Rameshwaram, they had, it was totally unaffected by the war. But what came soon was that the first casualty. Now, casualty is what? Means some kind of accident or a circumstance that something is that you're put to, came in the form of suspension of the train that it has that was taken, that train that is to pass the Rameshwaram station. So suspension means put to a halt. Halt means stop. So you can say that the train services was put to a stop in Rameshwaram. So that was the first casualty that the author first witnessed during Second World War. The newspapers had to be bundled and thrown out from the moving train on the Rameshwaram station, Rameshwaram road between Rameshwaram and Dhanushkoti. Now, suspension of the train halt means during those time the train services has been given order not to stop at the Rameshwaram station. So while the train moved out of the station of Rameshwaram, the train is to a bit slower down, and what is to happen, they is to just throw out the bundle of newspapers in the station, and from the moving train on the Rameshwaram road between Rameshwaram and Dhanushkodi. So Dhanushkodi is the last land that you can go to a map, or you can go to YouTube channel or YouTube, you can see where is Dhanushkodi. Dhanushkodi is the last line in the Indian Ocean, last trace of land in the Indian Ocean, a very beautiful place. And after that you have the Indian Ocean and then Sri Lanka. So the train, while passing through Rameshwaram Road and Dhanushkodi, in between the train, the person who is engaged with the newspapers, distributing newspaper, he used to throw out the newspaper, bundle it out and throw out through the train. That forced my cousin Samsuddin who distributed newspapers in Rameshwaram, to look for a helping hand to catch the bundles, and as if naturally I filled the slot. Now, his cousin Samsuddin, the author's cousin Samsuddin, was the one who used to distribute papers, to people's place, who used to collect those newspapers. So like throwing out the newspapers was a very, collecting those was a tough job for him, so he needed help. And Abdul Kalam fitted in the slot, means easily, what do you say, easily fill the place in which Samsuddin wanted him. So he, along with his cousin Samsuddin, now caught the bundle of newspapers and distributed it even to the people who wanted those. Samsuddin helped me to earn my first wages. Now wage is something that you earn hourly or after a day's work. So he is thankful here, the author is thankful to his cousin who has helped him earn his first money, his first wage. Half a century later, I can still feel this surge of pride in earning my own money for the first time. Half a century is 100 years. So after 50 years, I hope he's writing this now. He was writing this after 50 years, might be, that he was still so proud that was the time Samsuddin helped him during Second World War to make him earn his first money. So that's all for today. I have explained you the third paragraph. Next time we'll continue further. Thank you.